The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one who makes you try.
Hey, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Welcome to my show again. Today, beside me, to my left, is my co-host, Terrence Doran, or Terry.
Hi, Patty.
And today we have a very special guest to my right, Denny Snyder. So, you are a musician?
Yes, I am.
And a singer.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You're a singer as well as a musician. So I'd like to thank you for coming onto my show. And we got some questions for you, if we may. So.
Yep, nice to meet you, Denny. And yeah, my brother, I said before we went on the air, is a musician. He said he thinks playing music's about the highest the human race achieves. You want to comment on that, and then we'll get some information about your music and background. And I mean, it gives you a lot of meaning and joy.
Well, it's something that touches a lot of people. And, I don't know if I would say the highest thing.
It's like therapy.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
one
very
of
good
yeah,
therapy.
yeah.
And it's also therapy for me doing it. So yeah, I think music is probably the maybe one of the greatest communication devices, if you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter the language or anything. You know, music draws people.
Universal.
It's universal, and it's also one of the few things I think that exist that really bring people together.
So it doesn't have to be what language someone speaks, it's a beat in the music.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It crosses all boundaries.
Yeah,
Music.
yeah. It doesn't matter political beliefs, religious beliefs, anything. People are drawn to it.
Yeah, I think just watching you warm up, you know, you can watch you, and even if you speak a different language, you perform in English, you're going to get the emotion and the passion that you express.
Right.
That's what music is.
It would be nice to be able to do it in their own language, but how many languages do you know?
Well, English, and I speak French because I live in Quebec, but
Quebec.
I'm certainly not.
Quebecer.
No, I'm not Quebecer, and I'm not totally bilingual either. But I can converse
Un
with
petit
people.
peu français, eh?
Are you from Canada?
No, I'm
Where
from South Bend, Indiana,
Okay.
originally,
Indiana.
but I live in Montreal.
Montreal.
Now you live
Montreal,
in
eh?
Montreal?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, let's get there.
Wow.
Let's get there. I got questions for you, man. So you were born and raised in South Bend?
Yes.
How old were you when you moved?
Well, it was just in 2007.
Oh, that's
So,
many moons later.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I spent
goodness.
most of my life in Indiana.
So you live. Oh, I almost knocked down my coffee. When did you first start to sing professionally?
I guess when I was about 20, 19 or 20.
That was so many moons ago.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago?
Yeah, just a couple of years
Okay.
ago.
Just 2 years ago, man.
was-
You look young.
It was
Okay.
pretty much right after high school. I always, played in like lots of local garage bands and things,
Yeah.
and it came down to I was in a band and everybody was afraid to sing. I said, "Well, gee, give me the mic. I'll try it."
I'll try it.
And then I never stopped.
Oh my God! You couldn't shut him up afterwards. Went downhill after that. Oh no! I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But you're doing good. You're doing good. I hear that you have been singers, singing, opening for other people. Like who? Give me some
Oh,
names. Drop some names.
A real long list, but
Okay.
yeah, the biggest names would probably be Ray Charles, Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Stevie
Buddy
Ray
Guy.
Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
A lot of my personal heroes, too, like Lonnie Mack.
Wow.
I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
I've heard of that name.
Yeah.
Many open shows that they did. Is that?
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah. It was fun. I got to do quite a few of them with Lonnie, and that was extra special because he was one of my guitar heroes
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh, wow.
And there's a who's who list of Chicago guys because I was always so close to there.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah. South Bend,
Yeah.
not far from Chicago.
It's very close.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, an hour basically from downtown.
Yeah. There's a train, commuter train, I think, too.
Yeah,
from
the South
Bend to
Shore goes
Chicago, yeah,
directly
so
downtown.
So,
like, almost like a suburb.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, Notre Dame, I guess they wouldn't be a suburb, but very close.
you're singing solo this tour? Are you on tour now?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I had just 3 shows on this trip, but I'm doing this trip with some guys that I played with years and years ago. So it's a version of the Southside Denny Band.
Is that what you call yourself? Southside Denny?
Yeah.
Why?
That's good.
Well, that's
a good question.
it's
that's
kind
good.
of a complicated story.
Well,
You
we
want to
got-
hear it?
We got a couple minutes.
Sure.
Okay. Well, in 1980, I moved out to Phoenix with a bunch of guys because one guy said there's a place in Phoenix that we could have a house band blues gig if we
Oh.
wanted it. And, we were all like 19, 20 years old, and it was like, well, let's go. What are we waiting for?
Many moons ago.
So we went out there and we told people there that we were from Chicago. All of us knew enough about Chicago
Right.
and had plenty of Chicago experiences and things, and it actually played in Chicago. So, and 2,000 miles away at that time wasn't like today with the internet or something. And one of the first nights we played there, a guy comes up to me and he says, "Are you really from Chicago?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "What part?" And it just came out of my mouth. I said, "The South Side." And the guy said, "Wow, South Side Denny."
Oh, for
And
goodness,
then
and that kind of stuff.
everybody in that place started calling me that, and then everybody I knew in Phoenix started calling me that. So
There you go.
it just stuck. And I'm from the south side of South Bend, so it kind of worked anyway.
So you
Good. All right.
can't get it off now. Like sandpaper.
But people usually do think it's Chicago.
Yeah.
People, a blues south side of Chicago thing. But
Well, what's Chicago like now?
what's it like now? Well,
Is it?
I love Chicago, but it depends where you would be in Chicago, I
Oh.
would imagine.
Good part and bad part.
There's, I think, more shootings than ever in Chicago right now.
Record.
Yeah, it's
So-
very dangerous there.
You are also in another band, or with someone that you know very near and dear. Who is that?
That would be the Snyders,
The
which is, that's the main thing that I'm doing these days and has been for the past few years. It's a band with my 19-year-old daughter, Lori. She plays the bass and sings. And
Ah.
she's an unbelievable singer.
Oh yeah.
And my 15-year-old son, Philip, is a drummer, and he's just extraordinary. It's
Who taught him?
Philip pretty much learned on his own.
And who
He
taught you?
took lessons for a while from a Montreal
yeah.
drummer, but he started playing when he was about 3.
Oh my.
And then a drummer in one of my bands back here gave him a drum set when he was maybe 4.
Did
and he just
he
ran
drive
with
you
it.
out of your mind with all that drumming when he was 4?
No, not
no,
really,
no,
not at
no.
all. We encouraged it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Lori, I didn't really teach her a lot either. I taught her about the bass, just where the notes were and things like that, but I'm not a bassist, so I don't understand the techniques or anything.
Who taught you?
Originally, there was a guy in South Bend named John Mumford, who wasn't necessarily a teacher, but he was a guitarist,
Ah,
and he just taught me a
group?
lot of chords and
That's sweet.
phrases from songs and things, and then one day he told me, I don't know what else to tell you.
So,
So
you
I
go out there and do it.
Yeah,
Get
but
her done.
I studied theory with
Oh,
a classical
oh,
violinist
good,
and a
good,
jazz
good, good, good.
saxophonist, and
So your genre is basically
I would say blues. Although
blues.
especially in the Snyders, we tend to skate all around it. We play some jazz things, some
Gypsy?
things that I'm not sure what you would call it, but
Gypsy.
a little bit of gypsy.
I'm
yeah.
part gypsy.
Are you?
Many moons ago. On my
All right.
on my mom's side, we have Hungarian, Romanian in our background. So Mom says we. Yeah. Anyways, I got gypsy blood.
You're not going to gyp me, though, are you?
I'll get even.
I couldn't resist.
Don't get mad. Get even. So, who are your favorite singers?
Oh boy, that's
okay,
a
so
big
list right
question.
there.
There's so many, and it goes on and on. But to me, the most important ones were my earliest influences, that are still probably my biggest influences. Would
Okay,
have
still
been
around.
like Lonnie Mack. I mentioned Johnny Winter was a really big
Oh.
influence, and a lot of Chicago guys like Buddy Guy. Luther Allison was maybe the biggest one, because he kind of took me under his wing when I was a kid, and I had a lot of personal contact with him. And I always and still love Muddy Waters, Freddie King.
Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. Freddie was actually from Texas, but he did spend a lot of time in Chicago.
How about the Eagles?
The Eagles?
Yeah. Oh, they're not blues. They're rock.
Not
and
really.
roll. They're rhythm and blues, aren't they? I give up.
I would almost call them country
Yeah.
/ rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're good enough.
They are good. As a matter of fact, I love Joe Walsh, their guitarist. He wasn't in the beginning, but
But he's a good guitarist.
when he stepped into the picture, I felt like it really took off.
So, how long you been in Montreal? You said 07, I think.
Yeah, 2007.
Did you move there for the music, pretty much, or?
No, not really. I'd played there a few times. My wife is from there,
Ah,
and we lived in Indiana for 10 years and
Yeah.
decided to.
So,
move back.
It was one of
give
those
her
things,
country a
if
try,
we
huh?
don't do it now, it's never going to happen. So,
My
Yeah.
country.
your country.
I was born there in Toronto. Mon père was born in Montreal, Quebec,
Mm-hmm.
Dorval. You know where that
Oh, yeah.
is? Yeah, around there near the
Exactement.
airport. Oui.
So do you
Even though-
perform in Montreal then, I imagine?
We
Oh,
do,
yeah.
but not a lot.
Uh,
We're
Oh.
mostly out. We actually, this year, we played a lot more in Indiana and Michigan than anywhere.
ah.
And we played a lot in Ontario this summer, too.
I know
Are your
Ontario.
kids in your band, in the Snyders with you?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, the Snyders is the family band.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You won awards? Where? With what?
I won an award here quite a few years ago called the Old Harv Award, which is it's a DJ in South Bend on public radio, Harvey Stauffer,
Oh.
and he gives an award every year to somebody for, it's like lifetime achievement of promoting blues in Michiana. I guess, do you guys use that phrase, that
Yeah.
word here, Michiana?
Michiana?
Yeah, machine.
Yeah.
Michiana? Key Michiana.
Hmm?
Key Michiana. What does that word mean?
Well, it's the region that's like northern Indiana, southern Michigan.
Ah, you see, with me being from Canada, I don't know what that was.
You've
You've
been
been on-
here a long time, though, right?
20 years?
No.
But not here in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
We've been here about,
We're pretty close to Michigan here,
8
an hour or so.
Yeah.
It's the Michigan border.
yeah, 7 years.
Maybe a
8.
little.
Yeah.
And
That's why the name.
I also won in Montreal when I first moved there. They had a contest called the Montreal Grand Prix of Guitars. It was
And
just
how'd
like
you
a
do there?
competition of
Oh,
guitarists playing solo things, and I finished 3rd place.
Ah, muscle
So
ball.
yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Do you ever meet the big ones like Eric Clapton?
Ooh, no.
Who else? You ever heard of Anthony Gomes?
Yes.
I interviewed
We
him
we
one
actually
time.
did I did a show with him. It would have been about 10 years ago in Warsaw, Indiana. It
He
an-
was here a couple of times.
Yeah.
I interviewed him one time on the phone, in the studio, and I met him at Come to Go.
He's Canadian, isn't he?
His dad is Puerto Rican. His mom is French, or is it the other way around? No, his father is Puerto Rican, or is it Portugal? Anyways, he's a good old chap, and he's very nice. He's very nice. You've been on TV shows, of course. This is one of them. Have you been on other TV shows, radio?
I've done lots of radio. Not a lot of TV, but I have done some here and there. Public TV, usually. Been on a couple
Yeah. PBS?
morning news shows, too.
Yeah.
Like local NBC stuff.
Oh, no. America.
Actually, in Ottawa one time, I was
Ottawa.
on their whatever their big station is there, their news, and they had a
CBC?
huge telethon.
CBC?
No, it wasn't CBC, it was some other channel. Maybe it was CBC.
CBC is the
Was a long
biggest
time
one
ago.
all over the place, and around as well, OSC as well as CBC Radio.
Where have you played on this tour? You said you've done a few gigs while you were here.
This trip, all I did was I played Friday and Saturday in Indianapolis. And I'm doing this, and then Friday I'm playing at the Blue Chip Casino in Michigan City.
Casino.
Oh.
Oh. Do you play?
No,
Good.
no, I'm not a gambler.
That's good.
Must be fun, though, traveling around, especially with your children. And
Are they with you this
have
time?
a band.
No, well, they're
family
not with
band.
me on this trip.
They're in school.
But I mean,
Yeah.
generally they are, and they're, family band. That's true.
Oh, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's the most fun I've ever had playing music.
Speaking about music, you gonna sing a couple songs for us, are you now, laddie? It's going towards 20 after 20 minutes, and we want to know if you can sing a song for us, eh?
Of course.
So, unhook yourself, and we'll listen to him. And what are you going to be playing?
I'd like to start with an instrumental called Chicken Feed, if you don't mind.
Hey, listen, that's what I eat sometimes. Okay, go ahead. I'll be all right. Hey, listen, thank you. We're almost, time is almost up, and I was wondering if you could sing us out. Thank you, Terry Doran, for being my co-host.
Thank you,
And thank
Patty.
you, Denny. I'll
Very
shake your hand
enjoyable.
later, but give us a song as we move on out, as we fade out. Thank you, sir. You're too kind. What's this one called?
This one is called Lots of Hats because when you go into business for yourself, you have to wear a lot of hats. Well, I used to have a job, was as easy as could be. I'd punch in at 7, punch back out at 3. I'd leave the place a mess, go pick up my check, let the office find me more work while I catch up on my rest. It was terrible. Then one day, I decided to be a musician, to lead a life of fun and deep sea fishing. But to my surprise, I was forced to survive. If you wanna make a living, you got to wear lots of hats. Yes, lots of hats, that's where it's at. 'Cause there ain't no boss man to give you some cash. It ain't about being some cool cat. If you wanna get by, you got to wear lots of hats. Now I'm management, I'm booking, I'm songwriter too, road manager and driver. I bet you think I'm through. I handle complaints with lots of restraint. I'm accounts payable, I'm publicity and shipping too. Peut-être tu penses je suis fou. I said, you might think I'm crazy, but don't misunderstand. I love to play solo or band. Wouldn't change at any cost. My Benny's long been lost. So take my advice, you ain't gonna get fat. If you wanna make a living, you got to wear lots of hats. Yes.